G'day everyone. We're talking about making assets for our personal design portfolio slash website, and the assets that we're making are mock-ups to showcase our design work in situ and in context. This is going to be a pretty short video because it's a feature that's really easy to implement. It's a new feature in Adobe Illustrator and it's called the mockup feature. Let's have a look at it. I'll flick over to Illustrator. And I'm going to make a new document. This is for my website, so we're working pixels and we're working in RGB. And what I want to do is superimpose my artwork, just move that out of the way, superimpose my artwork over the top of some photography, some stock photography that I've got, or indeed I could take some photography myself. So I'm going to place those two objects. I might just hide myself now. Place those two objects into my artboard. We've got a hand holding a can, and we've got the artwork itself, a PNG and an AI file. And the first piece of I'll position the hand in my artboard, and then I'm going to position my artwork over the top. Now I want to make sure it's over the top, so I'll just check that. I'll just check that it is in the arrangement. I'll bring it to the front, and then I'll select both of those items and go to Object and Mockup Beta. If I can manage to grab that. Object, Mockup Beta, Make. And it'll take not very long to think about that. They're not too large files. And you can see now that it's kind of inserted that artwork into the 3D space of the raster image underneath. Now I can grab that graphic and move it around in that space, and you can see that it kind of wraps on various objects. And so I want to get it onto the can, that's the idea. So I'm going to kind of position it there, and you can see how it's sort of taking on the form of the can below. We've got these handles around the edge here, so we can change the size of our object within that space. So I'm holding Shift there to constrain the aspect ratio, just make it a little smaller, maybe position it. You can see like how it's kind of cool how it goes under the fingers and behind the hand there. That's pretty good, and I think I will rotate that around so that it's a bit more kind of symmetrical. Might make it bigger so that it does kind of touch the fingers like that. I think that looks pretty convincing. I have this mock-up panel here. I don't find it very useful. It has a few different options that we could play with, and some different stock imagery. However, I haven't found it working that well. So you experiment with it, but I'm going to get rid of it. One thing I want to finish this off with is by going to my transparency panel and implementing a multiply blend mode or something similar, and that allows the two things to kind of the light to fuse a little bit more, and I also might want to drop the opacity down a little bit so that it kind of sinks into that space a little bit. But there we go. That's a pretty convincing mock-up that I've done in under a minute. So I think you should definitely be giving the mock-up feature in Illustrator a whirl. To finish this off, I will export this asset for screens. I could give it a name. I could also change the output depending on how much I wanted to optimize my web file. I'm just going to keep it as a PNG, export that, and it should put it into the folder. Into a folder, actually, sorry. Let me just clarify that. It will put it into the folder that is listed in this URL thread or directory thread here, so it's going to go onto the desktop. So if I open up folder on the desktop, you should see that I've got this asset here ready to upload to my portfolio website. A convincing, very easy to implement mock-up through Illustrator.